Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of News in Motion. It's Hump Day. It is Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. Try to say that 5 times fast. But it is Wednesday, January 24th, and today is Wednesday workshop and wisdom. But more so on the wisdom side. Before we went live today, Miss Gail Dudley and I were talking, and she said, how the weather is starting to heat up a little bit. It is going to be a high of 49 today here in Columbus, Ohio. But she said, I want a blizzard. I want heavy snow. I want to be able to have a snowball fight and go skating. I was like, Miss Dudley, if you want a blizzard, just go to Dairy Queens. Just go to the Dairy Queens if you want a blizzard. But it is going to be a little bit warmer today as opposed to a few weeks ago when it was in the single digits. But make sure that you are staying bundled up and that you have an umbrella because it 90% chance of rain is expected to happen today. I see you, Miss Marianne Jackson, tuning in through YouTube. Good morning, Miss Adrian, tuning in through YouTube as well. And happy hump day to you. Good morning, Mr. Lewis Pryor III, tuning in through Facebook. And good morning, Miss Jackie, tuning in through YouTube as well. We can also be found on LinkedIn and any audio and podcast platforms. So if you are ready for Workshop Wednesday and Wednesday Wisdom Wednesday, be sure to let us know in the chat. And if you are ready, we'll be right back after this brief intro.
Motion.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to Wednesday Wisdom. I was cracking up at Isaiah, and I see Robert Holman just joining us as well. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all, today is Wednesday, January the 24th, 2024. I see you, Deborah Johnson. We got to talk today, sister. I am your host, Gail Dudley. I want to welcome everyone to Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. We prefer YouTube, but come in wherever you want to. We just want you to do us a favor, if you don't mind. Will y'all hit that thumbs up button? And will y'all hit that share button and invite some people to come on in here, tell them to bring their coffee, their tea, their mimosa, their whatever. Y'all, it's dry January, so I have not had a mimosa all January. I'm also in a time of fasting and prayer and for 40 days, not with sugar, so I'm done with that. And then today, I decided to do a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. fast with liquids only. So it's just, I'm just looking for God to just to answer some prayers and some major breakthroughs. So I'm doing a complete surrender today from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I see you, Deborah Johnson. I see you, Deborah Sneed, Kim Edmondson. What's up? Hey, y'all, when we were signing off yesterday, Kim Edmondson went against my prayer of having a blizzard with some thick, wet snow. And I just had to type back in there to her. I said, Kim, you're hilarious. And then Isaiah throws shade this morning and tells me if I want a blizzard, just go to Dairy Queen. Like, seriously? Why can't I have my inner child come out, as Isaiah said? Thank you, Adrian. She says, smash that like button. I see you, Dr. Antoinette. She says, please do not forget to share. And Lori Wallace, good morning to you. Good morning. So this is Wednesday Wisdom. We've been doing workshops the past couple of Wednesdays, but today is Wednesday Wisdom. Let me tell you what it is. We wanted to write out a script for this. This is where I will dive into 2 to 3 topics during our News in Motion segment. We are committed, as you know, to fostering citizen engagement in civic life, especially during this election year. Our goal is to share wisdom-based informational press releases that we have researched the contents and we'll share with our audience our findings based upon the demographics of this platform as we aim to empower and to motivate. When we're talking about Wednesday Wisdom, we are committed to 2 Wednesdays of each month. So you'll have 2 Wednesdays each month focusing on workshops and 2 Wednesdays each month focusing on wisdom. And we're going to have various topics focusing on civic engagement, community involvement, voter empowerment, participation, and advocacy in preparation for the November general election. I want y'all to enjoy this segment, share your thoughts, possibilities, and individual calls to action if you have them as we navigate through these important discussions. So with that, we want to get started, okay? Deborah says no blizzards this month, please. All right, then let's just have a blizzard like Valentine's Day. How about that? You know, I don't know. I just want a blizzard. Come on, y'all. Let's have some fun. I'm still wanting to go ice skating, okay? So first, I'm going to give y'all a few headlines. New Hampshire. Now, y'all, people wrote in President Biden, like, your name may not be on here, but we are writing you in. So even on a Democratic ballot, people wrote in Biden and he won, okay? His name was nowhere to be seen, but they wrote him in, and he won by a landslide. The second place was Representative Dean Phillips, Democrat of Minnesota. And then the author Marianne Williamson came in third. So he won. So the people wrote him in like as if his name was on the ballot. That's how many votes he received, okay? And then on the Republican side, we know that we heard that the former guy won. But I want to give y'all a different slant to this. I see you, Latrice, coming in here. I want to give y'all a different slant to this, okay? They said he was going to win by a landslide, and many people are spinning it that way. That's why it's so important to do your research. He did not win by a landslide. When you look at the numbers, these are the latest numbers I received. His votes were 23,412. And at that point, and still is, he was 2,580 ahead of her. That's not a lot of votes. And Nikki was at 20,832. So they have 52.3% for the former guy and 46.6% for her. Y'all, that's not a landslide. Now, CBS is reporting that most polling sites in New Hampshire closed at 7 p.m., but some were open until 8. And as you know, some opened even at 12 midnight, the 23rd. Now, voters who were in line were able to stay in line because historically, New Hampshire has counted a substantial portion of votes just within a few hours of closing. But again, we had this early call. I'm not feeling this early call, y'all. I'm not feeling this at all. It's like, what is it behind this early call when historically it has taken about 3 to 4 hours to start giving them? Now, polling places that close earlier, like at that 7 p.m. time, they can announce their results individually. They don't have to wait for them to come out of the Secretary of State's office. They can announce them. But you had, again, media sources making these announcements within just a few minutes, like 30-something minutes, when it has historically taken a few hours. So something's not good here. I see you, Davia. Dr. Antoinette said, how are they calling him the winner? Yes, it's just crazy how they're doing this. And y'all, I'm bringing this to your attention because this is a concern. This is a concern. No, and AI is not tallying them for you, okay? They're still using the same method of counting votes and looking at the information. So I don't know what this early stuff is all about. We need to pay attention. Okay, now, as with the Iowa caucuses, the New Hampshire primary complete, Trump has 31 delegates, and Nikki Haley has 16. Florida, Ron DeSantis, who suspended his gave his to Trump, And then Ramaswamy, who dropped out, they said he had 3, but they're not saying where his 3 landed. So I'm not for sure about that. I'm still looking into that. Now, and I need to apologize. Y'all have all these dates rolling in my head. The South Carolina is not February the 5th. It is February 24th. So my apologies. I was thinking the 5th as in March the 5th for Super Tuesday. So I wanted to make sure I corrected myself on that. I heard the replay yesterday and I was like, what did I say? So my apologies for that. So the next place that Haley is hoping to really steamroll the former guy is in South Carolina on February 24th. So we'll see. You have the Nevada and the Virgin Islands will hold their caucuses on February the 8th. And then again, the primary in South Carolina on February 24th. And then Super Tuesday is March the 5th. So I want to give y'all these numbers. I'm here about giving y'all truth so y'all can use your critical thinking for yourselves and see what's really happening here. 55% is to the former guy, and Nikki Haley's is 43%. People are saying that's a wide margin. No, he's not blowing her away like he was blowing all of them away in 2016. So, y'all, there's a 12-point margin. And I was doing all the calculations. Y'all, that's my background. I was doing all the calculations. 12-point margin, which is smaller than pre-election polls. They had him like at a 19% to 20%. No, it's only 12% margin. And just follow me. Just follow me. These numbers, somebody may spin them as they look amazing. They don't. They don't. Now, she's saying she's not going to come out. She's like, I'm in it to the end. And we'll see. But the money that's being poured into her campaign, y'all, something else is going on. Something else is going on. The Koch brothers are greasing her palms with some serious cash. Now, New York Times reports that Nikki Haley fares best. This is what happened in New Hampshire among college graduates and moderates, because New Hampshire is more of a moderate. They're not a former guy person. And the electorate is full of those types of voters. Now, New Hampshire is one of those who Democrats, Republicans, independents, but independents had to decide where they were headed. Y'all didn't hear about this much. I saw the news release from WMUR, a local news out of New Hampshire. Hanover, Amherst, and Hollis were waiting for some ballots, for some GOP ballots. Those are the towns, Amherst, Hanover, and Hollis. It's amazing that many people weren't talking about this. Those precincts were waiting and requesting from the Secretary of State's office in New Hampshire to bring them more GOP ballots, which means that people were crossing over to vote over there for Nikki Haley. They didn't think they were going to have that many need for ballots of GOP ballots in those 3 areas. And Hollis never got them. So it's amazing that we're not talking about this. So how many people? Would that have been another 2,000 people? We don't know. We don't know how many that is. We don't know how many would have voted. So you have Iowa that he won, okay? And he did. He won. But people started seeing on their phones, millennials ain't hanging around with that. Oh, so they already called the winner. I'm putting this ballot down. I'm leaving. They didn't vote. Now you had Hanover, Amherst, and Hollis asking the Secretary of State's office for more Republican ballots. Let that sink in. All right, let me go on to some other headlines. I'm just curious, what are y'all thinking? What are y'all thinking? Kim Edmonds is right. The polls were projecting him by really wide margins, and they're not. They're not. Which I want us as followers or whatever of News in Motion or period, just wanting to be interested in what you're hearing, to really dig into some of that. And if you don't know, ask somebody. All right, I'm going to give y'all this headline too. Berlin. This is out of Associated Press from Berlin. Y'all, almost 80 years after the Holocaust, 245,000 Jewish survivors are still living across more than 90 countries. And this is a report that came out on Tuesday. David said, beware the okie doke. Listen. I Super Tuesday, which is March the 5th, and I do this often. I think I told you I did this last time when John Kasich was on the ballot. I crossed over at that primary. It's like, no, I don't want him winning Ohio. And so people do that. That's real. People do that. But then you get all the other stuff coming in. But I split tickets all the time. But even for March 5th or Super Tuesday, whether however I do it, I'm going to pay attention to what everybody's doing. I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to make sure my thing goes through the machine, and that I'm going to watch everything. And some people I notice, they'll give them and they'll start the machine. They'll walk out. I'm like, why are you walking out? Follow that thing all the way till it goes through. I don't know, just something, just be very aware. Y'all, nearly half of the Jewish survivors, or 49%, are living in Israel. 18% are in Western Europe, and 16% are in the United States, and then 12% in countries of the former Soviet Union, according to a study of a New York-based conference on Jewish material claims against Germany, also referred to as a claims conference. So I just wanted to share that. Now, I want to share this before I go into our Wednesday wisdom. This is all wisdom, as you can tell. CBS News reports, and this is very concerning, because there's conversations about this at the New York Times, at Politico, at Axios, CNBC, Forbes, Bloomberg, and others. This should be concerning to all of us. 4 days after the Los Angeles Times journalists held their first strike for the paper of 142-year history, leadership announced plans to lay off at least 115 people, or more than 20% of the news staff, in an election year. I want y'all to pay attention to this. In comments reported by the Times, owner Dr. Patrick Soonsong said the paper could no longer endure, I want y'all to listen to this, endure annual losses of 30 million to 40 million a year, and drastic changes are needed. So y'all know me by now, I'm nosy. I got to find out what's going on. So I started looking, and I started reaching out to some of my contacts, and they were saying, and what I have been saying right here on News in Motion, AI, the time it takes to fact check with AI, the time it takes to fact check, to do your research, has somewhat tripled. And you're fighting against misinformation and disinformation. And as you're combing through all of that, the pay for researchers and people, it's not minimum wage. There's a lot of work that goes behind that, and then the journalism that comes behind that. So what these platforms are doing, they're like, we cannot compete with AI, but AI is giving out misinformation and disinformation. All right. So I have friends of mine, we have manuscripts and mimosas. And by the way, the next one is February the 2nd. Y'all can join it. Join Manuscripts and Mimosas. Thank you, Isaiah. Isaiah, be on it. We are having a great time. Just go to gaildudley.com, hit Manuscripts and Mimosas, and sign up. Listen, it's thebomb.com. It's my vision, but God gave it to me. But I can tell you this, y'all. It's thebomb.com. You can sign up monthly or for the yearly. It doesn't matter. You can do a regular membership or the VIP. It doesn't matter. But this Tuesday, thank you, Isaiah. This Tuesday, we're talking about book mapping. So we're mapping out books. I just think you should join. But anyway, I was last person who shared with us was saying, we should really look at AI. Stop being afraid of it. And I think Davia said something about she was trying it out. Deborah says everybody's talking about, we were like, we ain't feeling it though. So I decided I'm going to play around with AI. Okay. So I said, I'm going to just let it edit one of my articles and see what happens, whatever. So I did that. Okay. It's cool. And they didn't really change anything. And they really just, there was a couple things that it caught. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm glad I fixed it. Because it tells you what it changed when you're asking for an edit. Well, I was out there playing around one day. And I saw my entire article just out there in Cybernet. And I'm like, what? No reference that it belonged to Gail Dudley or anything like that. That bothered me. I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest, y'all. That bothered me. So my content's out here, and you never even said that it came from me. I got an account with you, so my name should have came up on there somewhere. So it bothered me. So then I put in, after doing this research with the LA Times, I just put something in there to see. I put something in there about Congress. The information that came back was incorrect. And I said, oh, this is a problem. So if people are losing their journalists during the election year, who are you going to depend on to get your information? I told you about News Not Noise with Jessica Yellen. There's now Native Land Podcast. There's Roland Martin. There's others of us that are out there, and I'm not in that tier at all. I'm way down here somewhere. And I don't mind. I haven't earned what they've earned, so I'm way down here. I have no problem with that. But I'm committed to bringing you facts. But understand these people are losing people because of AI. So y'all be careful. This is Wednesday Wisdom. Be careful where you are getting your news and information, and take the time to fact check it or ask somebody or follow somebody that you trust. I see you, Rosanna Bivens. Deborah says you are missing a serious opportunity if you sleep on manuscripts and mimosas. Well, I thank you. Davia says, I'm a member. She is. She goes, I am working on my first book, y'all. Her first book is coming out in the spring. I'm telling y'all now, y'all better buy a copy. And if she does pre-orders, y'all better believe I'm going to talk about it right here. She says, y'all know I can't read. Isaiah, can you put Davia's up on the screen so I can see it? Manuscript is the truth. Y'all know how Gail handles her business. High quality information. Thank you. And if y'all did not join us Friday at 8 p.m. for Tales from the Shaker, y'all missed it, but y'all can still watch it. Man, I sat back and said, wow, we had a great time on that interview. And I thank you again for letting me come to your table and share with that. All right, y'all. So that's what's happening with that. All right, let's go over. I still have time. So we have overdraft fees that the administration is looking at. But before I get to the overdraft fees, y'all know because I'm on all these different journalistic sites, and all these candidates are able to pull my information and send me emails. This is the email I got yesterday. Well, first I got from TRB something telling me that I received, I don't know, like $20,000. I don't believe those things, right? So I just hit delete. And then I get this thing, and I see this TRB on his thing. And I was like, what? So, and I ain't clicking nothing you sending me, nothing. So it says, Trump with the greatest business opportunity of 2024. Something's wrong with this, y'all. And even we should talk to there should be some legislation against stuff like this when you are a candidate running for office or you incited an insurrection. It says 50 Trump golden coins, current exchange value, $750,000. Now, y'all, then there's something from his site that says the same thing. So they're connected some kind of way. It says Trump with the greatest business opportunity of 2024. An expected value post has come directly from Trump's office presenting the Trump golden coins. Now, he was selling something else the other day. Now, here's my concern to all of you followers of this man. Stop giving this man all your money. Seriously. And I think people are just so excited about him. Stop. This should be illegal. This should not be okay. This should not be okay. So now you're promising people money? Something about that just smells. It just smells. Marion said, Davia, I watched your interview with Davia. Awesome interview. Thank you. We had a good time. I love hanging out with Davia. All right, so the overdraft fees could drop as low as $3. Why am I talking about this? Why does this matter? Well, number one, this is from AP News, who broke it down for us, and then I also have this statement directly from the White House as well. It says the cost of overdraft a bank account could drop as low as $3 under a proposal announced by the White House. And this is where there isn't enough money in your account to cover a transaction or withdraw, but the bank allows it anyway. Some fees have been as high as $39 across the board. And they were talking about how you could instead have a benchmark fee that would be $3, $6, or $7, depending upon the final version of the rule. So what's happening next is that bank industries are expected to fight the new regulations. So they're trying to see what's happening. But y'all, I'm going to tell y'all this. 39 billion, would it be dollars? 39 billion was collected in 2023 from overdraft fees. 39 billion. I thought, what? So the statement from the White House says when companies sneak hidden junk fees into family bills, I don't think these are hidden though, it can take hundreds of dollars a month out of their pockets and make it harder to make ends meet. So they just went on to talk about how wrong it is. So they said for too long, some banks has charged overdraft fees, sometimes $39 or more, that often hit the valuable Americans the hardest. Now, this is the part that bothered me. This part bothered me. Affluent accounts, on the other end, these are talking about your millionaires, your known or thought of to be millionaires, or on paper to be millionaires and billionaires. When they hit their account, moving money one to another, and they go into overdraft, they're not charged a fee. So are you changing the fee amount so that I'm paying for their fees? Although they're classified as millionaires and billionaires, but in moving money, they may have an overdraft, but you're not charging them the overdraft? Help me understand this. I see you, Shardinia. Help me understand this. What do y'all think about this? Marion says the bank I used to work for has tier levels for overdraft fees starting at $33 to $39. I mean, everybody make a mistake. I done made those mistakes, okay? And it's like, oh, shoot, or I take it from the wrong account or whatever, because I have a fun account that I just put money in there for fun, and when it's gone, it's gone. And then there's times it's like I'm hitting the wrong account. I've done that. I'll be honest. Here we believe in honesty. I've done that. But I thought, well, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So why does this matter? Well, I'm going to tell you why it matters, and we're talking wisdom today. I'm going to tell you why. So I went to this whole piece on CNBC, the financial people, to just look into this. Now, I told y'all 39 just last year, right? 39 billion. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau on Wednesday proposed these new rules. Americans have paid an estimated $280 billion in overdraft fees since 2000. And it's interesting that last year was so high, and we had the inflation, we had all kinds of stuff going on there. That made sense, okay? So this is according to data from Consumer Watchdog Agency. Now, they talk about the proposed changes. They're talking about retirement plans, ticket sellers, all of these other things where people are getting fees that could have caused some of the overdraft fees. Consumer Reports says 8% of banking customers generate nearly 75% of bank revenues from such fees. Okay? Excuse me. They go on to say how 10 billion or more with assets, these are people I'm talking about, $10 billion, y'all, or more with assets, do not pay fees. Help me understand this, seriously. So we pay higher taxes, we pay more fees, we pay everything. So we're carrying this nation. Let's just talk about it, y'all. This is Wednesday Wisdom. This is what we're carrying. We're carrying these things, but we don't get a break. We don't get a break. We can throw healthcare in there too. We're carrying things and we don't get a break. Marion says that the overdraft fees need to go down. Kim says, say what? Y'all listen. These are some of the questions we need to be asking those running for office. And there's a whole lot of people running for office in 2024 who will be on that final ballot in November of 2024. What are you doing with these fees? Why am I paying more fees for this? Why are you hiding the fees? Can you not be honest with me up front? If I'm buying Beyonce tickets, how much fees going to come out of that? If I'm checking my luggage, how many fees? If I'm using these, my flight of choice is Delta, and I'm not promoting them one way or the other, but when I use them and I go to their lounge and I'm doing this, that, and the other under the Delta, how many fees are coming out of here? And why? And why aren't you telling me about these fees? Hotel fees. Now they have bed tax and bed fees. Well, were there any bed bugs? And then they talk about if you eating different meals and the fees that come along with that. Y'all, no joke. I went to, because I'm finally taking a vacation. I couldn't take in December because I was sick. That's coming up in February. But I went to go copy the luggage tags. Deborah, you know all about this. I went to go copy the luggage tags, and I went to FedEx. I'm going to bust them right here because I busted them on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. So I did it online because I've been a customer of theirs for years. So I did it online to get them so they could be colors. So I can fold them, put them in the luggage tag and all that stuff. And the guy said, oh, this is 53 cents. Y'all, my copies were 53 cents total. But I have to charge you $2.50 because you sent that by email. First of all, that makes no sense. That makes no sense whatsoever at all. And furthermore, I'm not paying you $2.50 for something that costs me 53 cents. Well, you sent it over the email, and there's now a fee with that. Explain why you charging me a fee because I sent you the email. Well, because you didn't use the FedEx portal. Have I ever? Do you know how much stuff you copied for me here? And the guy was like, I know, but it's a fee. And I said, either I pay you 53 cents and I'll take those copies, or you can throw them in the trash because I'm not about to pay that. He says, well, you'll have to pay it. And if you're not willing to pay it, I'll have to throw them away. You wasted ink and paper that probably cost you more than $2.50. And I'm not going to use this. Why was there a fee for $2.50? But here's the thing, y'all. We need to start paying attention to this. I was watching the terminal or whatever you want to call it, the cash register, whatever. And I saw that. And I said, what's that? I said, no, we're not doing that. I'm not paying you $2.50 for this. No way. I ended up going to Office Depot. And the guy kind of laughed and said, yeah, everybody's coming to us for that. But seriously, we need to pay attention to these fees and ask the questions about the fees. And Dr. Antoinette said, just wondering, do congressmen and congresswomen pay fees? That's a good question. Do they? Deborah says, that is crazy. These fees are out of hand. Out of hand. Do you now know, and this isn't new, but I think it just hit me kind of weird. Grocery stores are paying you fees. If you ask for one of their bags, you paying for it. You paying a dime a bag at CVS. I'm like, I'll just carry it. Or I'm now taking my bags in. Whatever that looks like. But why are we paying for all these things? So here again, though, when we look at these numbers, 10 billion or more in assets, they're not paying for fees, even though they have overdraft and everything else like anybody else. They're not having to pay the fees. These are questions we need to be asking our representatives. I want to get some of your questions here, and we're going to do a town hall on more of this tomorrow. I will go over, I had another piece I wanted to give to you about student achievement from the White House. And if you live in Ohio, they wanting to pay students to go to school, K through 12. What? We paying people now? This is how we're getting people to school? Help me understand what's happening here. And who's going to pay for that? Where is this money coming from? We say we don't have money, but we keep giving away money. Why? Help us make these connections. So we're going to be dealing with some of this during the town hall tomorrow. All right, y'all. Any questions before I go to the inspirational message? Y'all quiet today. Y'all are just quiet today. All right, y'all. I was in, I'm doing my fast. Draw the Circle 40-day prayer challenge. And the author talks about ready, set, go. And he asked this question. What's up, MK Walker? He asked this question in his book, are we ever ready? When we talk about ready, set, go, are we ever really ready? Or should the words be changed to go, set, ready? Meaning, let's get to the place where we are going. Let's just make the decision to move forward in what it is you're doing. So here's my translation to this. Sardinia says Cleveland Clinic was charging to sit in the examination room. Huh? I told them I'm not paying to sit in the room. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all, we got to pay attention to these fees. So he says, let's go, set, ready. And I thought about that go word when I was going through his devotional the other day. And I said, sometimes we are hesitant to move because we're trying to figure out what the outcome is going to be and what it's going to look like. And I agree with him. We just got to go. We just have to do it. And we have to stop waiting to see, well, how many people are going to sign on with this? How many people are going to follow me? How many people are going to become my clients? That you're asking the wrong questions. The questions you should be asking is, okay, God, I'm going. Are you with me? And his answer will be yes. Especially if he has ordained you, if God has ordained you for such a time as this. And I believe God is ordaining all of us for such a time as this to go and do what we've been called to do. Stop waiting. And then set. Normally we say ready, set, go. In this book, he said go, set, ready. And the word set here, what I took from the devotion, is to set yourself up for success. Which means start taking small bites, going back to the devotional yesterday where I was talking about the word now unto him who is able to keep us from falling. Take small steps, take your time setting things in place. So put something out there and then watch and see, okay, is this my direction? Does this feel good with me? God, am I doing the right things? Speak to me, talk to me about it before I make any more moves. So where's the set? How do I set things up? Now, sometimes we want to share with everyone, but as a 58-year-old Black female, I'm learning to hold some things to my chest, close to my vest, before I decide who I'm going to share with and why. Just like I don't let everybody pray for me. Y'all might be praying for me, but I don't ask everybody. I don't share my prayer requests with everybody because sometimes our prayer requests are so bold and major that some people can't get with it. So be mindful and be careful who you're asking people to pray for certain things. Yeah, I said it. You want to be careful. You want to find that person or that group of people who you trust, people who you know have your back and they're cheering you on, people who you know aren't going to feel insecure or be jealous of what you're trying to accomplish. There's something I did yesterday. Something I have been wanting, I'm not going to tell y'all here, something I have been wanting to do, something I wanted to do just for, I thought it was just for fun, but it's way more than fun. And I'm going to fault Kim Edmondson for some of this, but something I decided to do yesterday. And my husband and my children were like, we were waiting for you to do that. And yesterday was just major. I was so excited. Like, I did that. And God supported me because I went to God praying about it over and over and over and over again. And y'all, all this have a purpose. So just keep paying attention. But it took me a little over a year to say, I'm going all in. I'm going all in. What? I'm just going all in. It feels good. I've tested it. I've sat on it. I prayed about it. I fasted when it comes to it. It's something that I just enjoy doing. Again, I fought Kim Edmondson, but it's just wow, like all the way wow. Like yesterday, I was like, what? This could have been my life a long time ago, in addition to everything else that I'm doing. Oh, this is no joke. This is the bomb.com right here. The excitement behind it. So here, what are you passionate about? This is the go for it. This is the set it up, and then ready. Once you go and set and then we get ready, the ready is, oh, it's already there. Because the preparation has already taken place in the go because you already gone, you have already went for it. And then the set, I took my time. See, some of us are in such a hurry to do certain things that we don't have all the pieces together yet. You're rushing. Slow down. You may be missing the most important ingredient to what it is you're trying to do. Just slow down and wait a minute. Just wait a minute. So I don't know if Davey is still on here or not. My husband doesn't watch. And if it doesn't have to do with Jesus, and if it doesn't have to do with the doctor level academia, he's not. So I said, babe, he heard me watching. He was listening kind of like when I was going over the 8, because I was like, we normally have date night on Friday. We still do. But I took that 45 minutes or so to say, I'm getting ready to do this because I got to see this. I'm going to support my girl. So he said, hey, send me that link. So I sent it to him. He watched it. He said, first of all, y'all got some serious, y'all really feed off of each other very well. He said, this was good. And then he shared it with some other professors, y'all. I was like, what? So he was real excited about it. And then he said, what's Davia doing with this? Because this needs to be on every platform. This is just major. This was our conversation all weekend long. So Dave, if you're still listening, that's what he said. She goes, I'm here. And I said, yeah. I said, she got it going on, doesn't she? He said, how long? He said, didn't she like sit back for a minute? I said, yeah. He said, but look. He said, she came out swinging. I said, every episode this season has been straight fire. I said, but I thought that was her beginning episodes. But there was time where, and I can't speak for her, where she said, I'm going to just sit back for a moment. And she came back swinging, y'all. I mean, the girl stuff is the mom. Then my sister took her iPad to my mom's house. My mom didn't say anything about me. She was like, who's this lady? Can I find her on TV? I said, Mom, that's my friend Davia. And she says, well, I need to see her on TV on a daytime show or something. Don't miss it. Y'all, she set that thing up. And I have no doubt that God orchestrated every component of Davia doing and coming back with Tales from the Shaker. Don't y'all sit on her. Don't y'all be like, oh, yeah, I remember her on News in Motion when we see Davia at the Oscars and the Golden Globes and the People Choice and the Daytime Emmys and all that stuff. Don't be like, oh, yeah, that's it. No, you weren't on the bandwagon in the beginning. But y'all, that's how she set this up. Not only is she ready, she set it up and she went for it. Y'all, get some of that Davia faith, okay? Because that girl came out swinging. And I haven't said this to her one-on-one, but I'm saying this here on News in Motion. I know we get 1,000 downloads a day. Y'all, check out Tales from the Shaker. Seriously. Davia, will you put your link to YouTube in the chat? So, y'all, if you come to the News in Motion Facebook page, you will see the link. You will see the link. And that's to encourage all of you. There are gifts, and I know Isaiah got to leave in a minute, so Isaiah, just hold on for me. Hold on. There are gifts in all of you. And I want to specifically talk about Isaiah for a moment. The gift inside that young man is powerful. It's anointed. All of that, okay? So listen. I have no doubt that some of the reasons why we don't go for it is because of fear and intimidation. Not only that, I believe that some of us are even, and I'm going to say this, afraid, because we've seen it happen before. The moment I go out here, the moment I go after something God has gifted me to do, the enemy's going to come. Attacks are going to come. Things are going to happen. I shut all that down right now in the name of Jesus. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. It's time for your gifts to come forward with everything that you have. I'm over one person making it. Let's all make it together. Okay, let's all support each other. Okay, seriously, stop with the negativity, stop with the naysaying, because without what comes out of your mouth, life and death are in the power of the tongue. Y'all, that is not just a saying, that is real. Speak life. You see a blessing for somebody next door to you, you start shouting with them, because that means the blessings are in the neighborhood. And go ahead and get your shout on while you have the opportunity to shout. Again, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Y'all, together, we can shake earth like never before. I feel it. I see it. I believe it. Y'all, God is doing something major. And you may be sitting there saying, but I'm losing everything, or I feel like I'm losing everything, or my marriage is crumbling, or my children have gone buck wild, or I just lost my job. Listen, sometimes those things happen to get you discouraged. And I'm not saying God is doing that to you. I'm not saying that. But sometimes we have to come down so that we can be promoted and propelled forward. Okay? I'm really trying to let this go, but I really want us to all get this and understand this. Every one of us, if we have breath in our body, God wants to do major things in your life. Every one of us. He did not create us to sit back and do nothing. We all have a gift. Maybe your gift is making phone calls. Maybe your gift is just smiling at people. And that's a big deal, because I like to see people smile. Maybe your gift is to welcome people. Maybe your gift is designing things. Maybe your gift is an artist. Maybe your gift is a speaker. Maybe your gift is an author. Maybe your gift is a wrestler or a football player, a basketball player. Maybe your gift is a pilot. Maybe your gift is a photographer. Maybe your gift is a politician. Maybe your gift is a secretary. Maybe your gift is a janitor. Whatever it is, maybe your gift is a teacher. Whatever it is, y'all, use your gifts. Use your gifts. Wednesday Wisdom. This is Gail Dudley. This is News in Motion. Use your gift. Go, set, ready. All right, y'all, make some bold moves. We will see you tomorrow for Thursday Town Hall. We're out.
News in motion.